Na, 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 na. Alright, everybody, go ahead and roll that d20.
13.
3.
17.
What an interesting spread.
Alright, so I believe, and just because I forgot how to pronounce it again, Kaylee?
Caitlin.
Kevin.
Kaylin. Okay, thank you. Kaylin. What would your character, if they lived in modern time, do?
I should probably be a journalist.
Ooh. Oh, that makes so much sense. That's adorable.
Stories, yeah. With journalistic integrity out the wazoo.
Alrighty then. Leah, I believe, unless I'm pronouncing it wrong again.
No, Leah's right.
Awesome. Alright, now for yours. And this, oh, wow, that is dark.
I love
So,
it.
hey, if you are offered a choice, someone who you have now, you've confirmed that they have the power to grant request, wishes, and almost anything, but they asked you to kill everyone in your party, would you do it? They would grant you a request. No limits, no real strings attached other than the people who are around you now have to die. And there's a good chance that they have told you what you wanted. Either they want to give you something you're looking for or get you something you lost. It's essentially the pinhead kind of choice, but
yeah, I like no strings attached, wish fully as intended. Yeah.
You must commit something hideous, but you will be the one.
Yeah. There's also the question of like, does this include Kaylin and Min, or is this also including like the others that are kind of in this group?
Currently in the party, this would include everybody.
Yeah. Also, is this like, do I have to manually? Is this like a choice of whether they live or die, or is this like I gotta like fight them?
This is you choose that they have to die, and they will, but you get back.
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm sure this will change over time, but given like the circumstances right now of like how much I know you all, I don't want to see you guys die, but given a no strings wish like this, she's definitely taking that offer.
Oof, that's tough.
It was nice knowing you.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if I didn't word that right. They would essentially be immobilized, you'd have to be the one to kill them, but it would be effortless for you to do it, but you'd have to be the one to do it.
But they're already restrained, so it's basically the same.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing, but they essentially, you know you're doing it, they know you're doing it, but at the other side of the doorway, whatever it is you wanted, money, information, favor, a kingdom, whatever it is that you would want, it's there.
Yeah, this is... Oh, she has to get her hands dirty? Oh no! Not getting your hands dirty. What? I'm sorry.
Goodness. Well, guess we know the answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that's gonna change over time, but we literally have, like, less than, like, a few hours.
Bunch of random people, I think, are interesting, but...
Yeah.
I've known more about other people who had to have happiness.
Yeah.
Alright, lastly. Min.
He's
Open that scrolling. Anything up? Oh, here it is. If you could go back in time and redo one decision, what would that be?
ooh.
Like, one trip back into your memories, and for one little act, conversation, question, or something, you can redo one answer.
Oh. Probably trying to. Ooh. Let's see. Probably stopping Noble Consort song from causing the events which led her to flee, or more accurately, be banished.
You're banished.
Good answer, but yeah, no. Good luck with that, and hopefully that one answer is enough to do it because you only have one. You can only change one conversation, but hopefully it's enough.
That conversation would just be simply just keeping her distracted long enough to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
That could work. That could definitely work. Yeah. All right. Questions out the way, and we are back into the scene. Now, I can believe you guys finished your conversation with Mr. Blue and Mr. Green, Ming, and Taven. And Mr. Red has just shown up and is beginning to apologize to each of you, giving you a quick bow and apology for his tardiness, and saying he's introducing a latecomer to the party. And he does gesture behind him. This is our newest addition. Do you still want to keep Mrs. White, or?
I mean, I think I will keep Mrs. White.
Well, Mrs. White, this is everyone else. Mr. Green, Mr. Blue, Mr. Red, Mr. Brown.
Well,
Oh no, she's gone. She's stealthed, guys. I'm sorry, she rolled a nat 20.
Franny boy.
Mr. Red, who are you talking to?
Sorry about that. My headphones literally turned themselves off for no reason.
Yay, those are fun.
Just to be spiteful.
Still getting used to the new.
They wanted you to do a dramatic pause and you didn't, and they had to do it for you.
I guess. I think I missed a bit of what you said there.
Just a quick introduction, everybody, Mr. Going back there. There's Mr. Purple, Mr. Blue, Mr. Green, Mr. Brown, Mr. Black, Mr. Red as himself, and then he's pointing to the others with Miss Lavender and Miss Yellow, if I'm remembering these names.
Yeah.
Unless I wrote them down wrong.
Nope, that's right.
Yeah.
Hip hip hooray! Alright, everybody else? Mrs. White.
She'll just kind of like give a bit of a nod and like kind of gesture Kanan to like a how do you do, and she'll just kind of say, "It'll be a pleasure working together, I'm sure."
Kaylin is beaming
Positively.
and waves.
She kind of does a waving gesture to the two of you, kind of waiting if there are any questions or comments at the moment.
That's settled. I should like to know, where exactly are we going, Mr. Green? I'm sorry, I'm probably going to end up saying the wrong color and therefore addressing the wrong character a lot here.
You're currently addressing the demon, who is looking
The
back at you,
okay.
saying,
So then, who's really in
"How
charge?
the hell am I supposed to know?"
Red is
Red.
the other demon.
Red is the tiefling who's in charge. Mr. Green and
Okay.
Mr. Blue are the demon and the young sir, respectively.
Okay, then I meant to address Mr. Red.
Oh, excellent. We will be there and hopefully make up our time. We will be taking off toward the northwest side of the island. Now, I believe, barring anyone else's necessary... Well, anything else? I believe we're ready to take off. Yes?
Yes.
I believe an explanation is still in order of what we are, what our job precisely is, but I think that has been established that that'll be taken care of on the road.
Precisely. Once we've reached our current checkpoint, it should be a large station house. We can then further elaborate the plan. As I said, this will be a 3-day trip with nothing going wrong. Roughly a day to get there, day and a half to get there. Simple activities of, well, plan, and all going well, the day to have to get back. And we will be here.
The nods.
Sounds good to me.
There's it settled.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's be on our way then. And he starts going off toward the north end of the city, where the gate was.
What is this progress? We're moving somewhere.
Really
We're
We
traveling
haven't stopped
Guy-
to battle
The
something.
experience bar is slowly just ticked up 5 points.
5 points at one time? Impossible.
impressive.
Inconceivable.
You guys notice immediately as soon as he gets to the place, he's already on a horse.
Like we like look away and like look back and he's on a horse.
He is now on a horse, and you know he's now immensely spotless. Like he's not yet touched the ground. You know he was just on it a bit ago.
Hmm.
Do we
Are
get
there
our own
other-
horses?
Horses.
There are not. He is slowly, and this horse is doing a slow trot, making their way out the gate.
Are we near stables at the moment?
There is one on the outskirts. You don't know whether this is the horses for the city themselves or possibly to rent. You can definitely ask. But he is, well, not, like I said, he's going a very steady but slow pace out of the city.
Like walking speed?
Almost a little bit less. Like you could probably walk a little bit ahead if you tried, but he'd definitely be able to keep up.
Okay.
So slow, observant pace. Okay.
Yeah, he's just. We're gonna go. It seems like at walking speed. He just doesn't want to walk.
Yeah, no, he does not. It's like before he exited the actual city off the cobblestone to the actual dirt, he was already.
Leah just kind of straightens her straps and just kind of gets ready to march.
Min will be struggling a bit with her luggage, trying to hold on to everything. Excuse me, Mr. Red, but is there any way that I might be able to get a strapping lad, someone in the company to help me with my things?
You can go ahead and
Travel alone,
ask.
You should know.
You can ask if anyone has a way to do this. Give me a quick persuasion.
Persuasion.
Mr. Green offers to help carry, and he dumps it all on Mr. Blue.
Persuasion 8.
You're free to ask anyone.
8 plus 5, so 13. I would just be. I suppose I would turn to the group in general with a smile. Or anyone who would help a lady out, please.
Kaylin raises her hand.
Oh, Caitlin. No,
How
not
much-
you, dear. This is. I.
What's your strength score?
It's not great. A solid 10. But she
How
doesn't
much
know
do
that.
you? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Are you just like holding up a bag, or do you like have a ton of luggage? I'm curious specifically, like how much you're asking somebody else to
She's
carry
got
for you.
a bag with her clothes, and then she's got at least 2 carrying cases full of cosmetics and powders and things like that.
Yep, Kaylin raises her hand.
Yep. Okay. Leah does not.
Oh dear, Kaylin, I appreciate your offer, but you really shouldn't. Not a thing as sweet and lovely as you. I was hoping
All
that
right.
maybe there was
Roll.
a gentleman somewhere on this island.
And there are 2 awkward stares between Mr. Black and Mr. Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Before it is Mr. Brown who goes up, and he does ask you permission. Pardon me. Would you mind if I tamper just a bit? Expedience.
If he tampered? Is that what he said?
Yes, if he tampered with it just a bit for expedience's sake.
What kind of tampering? And she'll like defensively hold her cosmetic cases like they're a child.
Just enough to ease the burden, as it were.
I suppose I shall extend my trust. Do what you will, sir.
And this gentleman does, in fact, pull out his own. It's an odd thing because it looks like a lynch roll. For
Huh.
the context of just explain what it looks like. And then he essentially just starts on the case, like, does it have a side, like a flat side?
Yeah.
He essentially slaps and removes one of the essentially face stickers on it, and as soon as he does, there's a bunch of writing on the side. Anyone who wishes to who's trained in arcane can make a check, if they so wish. As soon as he does, everything begins to slowly shrink.
Hmm.
Ah.
It's no bigger than like a clutch purse or a wallet now.
Ah. So that's
Easier.
useful. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure, Miss Lavender.
Well, now with her adorably shrunken bags in hand, Min will continue on. And giving him this is Mr. Brown, right?
This is indeed Mr. Brown, the
And-
man with the beard and glasses and interesting-looking spectacles.
Hold on, gotta check to see how good looking he is. Is she gonna give him a flirtatious smile or not? Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. She sure is.
Yes, she is.
But yeah, she flashes him a flirtatious little smile and continues on her way.
He gives you his own smile back, and he follows.
Lavender, are you going? Is
Anybody
that
else?
Going to, oh yeah. Lavender, is that going to be suitable? Are you going to be fine marching as it is?
I suppose I will endure. What's the weather like, actually?
partially cloudy, normal sunny day. Oddly good bit of weather for normal traveling.
Okay.
Are we?
Then Min will hold on to her skirts and make sure that her lovely fair porcelain face is shielded by her ginormous hat.
Remind me, are we in what season are we in? Are we in early fall? Spring?
We'd be in early fall.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Neat.
What is
I was
happening with our... Oh, go ahead.
Leah kind of pitches in. I'm not entirely certain on your financial state or if you'll be able to rent it at the stables that we'll be passing by, but you may want to consider if you're concerned about weight or a long walk, picking up a horse from the stables, renting out one out at least, just
Oh,
as a suggestion of something you may wish to look into.
that is a fine idea, and while I may even prefer a palanquin, I shall endure. I won't be so frivolous in that department. Perhaps once I gain some more funds, then I can spend it on such an expense. And Min obviously looks uncomfortable with this whole traveling thing, but she's trying to keep a straight face and make the best of it.
Power to you, then. I know you've probably heard this advice in other contexts based off of context clues, but the recommendation, especially when traveling like this, is to pack light. And I'm not certain if there are things you may be able to get rid of, at least or hold on somewhere else for the time being, but...
Min gives you an absolute death stare. I do not come from a place where people travel lightly. Everything is important, from your favorite hairpin to your emergency nail polish. Everything. It's all important.
You actually do see, I think, I think I mentioned this last time. I don't remember because, there are a handful of things. She does have a hairpin. Leah does, kind of holding back a small bun, but she does have that.
Aw. What's it look like? Is it just a plain stick, or is there something to it?
It's a bit of like a kind of silver with... You're not entirely certain it's purple gem, or maybe it's cut glass. You're not entirely able to tell discern immediately whether it's how fake or real it is, but it does seem like it's decently nice looking sort of charm.
Then, noticing that, Min will pluck at the hairpin to get a closer look. Oh, so you do understand. I don't know if Leah's hair just completely goes floof everywhere.
Did you yank it out of her hair?
As deftly and as smoothly without causing the pain of pulling on tangled hair as possible.
Leah is, I think,
Dexterity check, please.
Yeah, dexterity check.
Absolutely.
Leah's gonna grab. I don't know if that's a dexterity check or something else. Should I roll as well?
Are you attempting to prevent this, to help her out?
Prevent her.
I'll need your own kind of dexterity check. Yours will be a disadvantage.
Mine will be a disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay.
8. I think Min's gonna fall into a puddle or twist her ankle in in a pothole.
Well, let's see what happens.
One roll was 18 before bonuses. The second roll after bonuses is a 9. So
Woo!
So
guys
you
not
are
the most
able.
graceful.
You are able to catch her right before she does it. In doing so, you both step a bit too close, and it becomes a very, very awkward scene of you guys are. It's that weird lean in, but this happened for a completely different reason, and a few of your companions are just a little bit confused.
Leo will actually take this advantage to kind of like take advantage of the like getting in close, almost like try and maybe play it off like that was somewhat intentional, and she's like, don't grab things without asking.
There's no need. Min will just pout. There is no need to be so sour. I just want to take a closer look. Where did you
She'll
get it
kind of-
from? A past lover, perhaps a coming-of-age present?
She'll kind of take a bit of a sigh and pull it out, kind of so you can examine it. I do not have art for it up right now, but I can find some later.
Okay.
And she'll just kind of say, from an old friend and colleague.
Ooh. And Min will take the pin and turn it in her
No.
hand.
She's not handing it to you. She's like
holding.
letting you look at it, and she'll kind of like spin. But if you like reach for it, she'll like try to pull away.
Okay.
I don't know if you
Ooh,
want to try and snatch
shiny.
it. That is another thing. Like we can roll again if you're trying to snatch it.
Okay, if you're just holding it out and obviously not like offering for her to hold it, then she'll just lean in close and check it out. So is it an expensive item or is it a just a cheaply made item?
Is this Min rolling to discern, or like is
sure.
she trying to discern like appraise?
Yeah, I'll roll.
I guess this would be. I'd say investigation. Would you agree with that, Siler?
I think she could roll investigation or insight, her choice.
Insight. Insight. That. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, let's
Or
see.
something like this.
Investigation, that is a 19. Knows her
19.
shiny stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take the lead on this if that's all right, Siler.
Oh yeah, as much as you feel would be appropriate for that.
Okay. So I think you can tell that is a gem, in fact. It's a sort of a strange cut. It is silver and then this purple gem of some kind. I think you can tell that there's like some kind of like strange inscription. And I don't know how familiar Min would be with kind of languages from other continents or just kind of the scripts of other continents.
I mean, she knows Celestial, Common, Dwarvish, and Elfish.
I think you're able to tell that that's some kind of... That may be some kind of arcane script written. So, like, some sigils, perhaps? You're not entirely certain what for. But this seems to be more than meets the eye.
What a curious little trinket.
Curious indeed.
Well, it is quite pretty.
It comes in handy, and it is a bit sentimental, perhaps.
Well,
And
that's the wonderful thing about jewelry, is that usually most pieces have some sort of story. Something perhaps would appeal to you, Miss Galen?
Leo will put her start putting her.
You'll see that Kaylin's actually looking away, kind of bashfully, as if she does not want to intrude upon your moment.
No, we're not having a moment. We are
If that
talking
were a
about
second character,
jewelry.
I mean, we're kind of like Leah does not think we're having a moment. We're kind of having a moment. But we'll look back at this
kinda
moment, I'm
having a
sure, later. Kind of having a moment. Yeah.
What's everyone's passive perception?
19.
16.
17.
All right, all those very impressive, and all of you. After this bit of thing is going, you can clearly see Mr. Green has gone around and collected money from everybody, and he seems to be all right, boys. Bets are settled. Well, guess we'll find out who's right at the end of this.
I would say in general, when Leah was like trying to keep like somewhat tabs, but I don't want to say like, oh no, I totally understand. I know what's going on. Tell me. I don't know if there's a role or.
You guys have been left behind. The Mr. Red, the rest of them, they have not stopped going towards the gate. You've not yet left the city. So anyone who wants to.
I thought we were walking
no,
and keeping up with them.
No, for this kind of conversation, they sped up a bit. You guys are just about to get to the actual gates. Last chance to get anything, because if you're walking and talking, you're about to leave the city without getting anything else. If you guys want it,
I would have followed close to the group and let them have their moment.
okay, then you probably would have overheard something with that passive. There is a quick bet going around to see. Do you think they're going to? And this is in Mr. Green's colorful vocabulary. I got high bets on two of them stumbling into each other again. Here's that counting. And three of them, Mr. Brown said, apparently he had his own bet on these two getting into a fight, while Mr. Black said this will likely not occur again and this will be a neutral and separate event. And then going all the way to Mr. Blue, who's made his bet, essentially declaring that this will actually become the beginning of a very beneficial friendship. He seems to be the optimist.
What Mr. Blue said. Money on that one.
They're betting on like.
They're betting to see if is this going to be a one-time thing? Or are they going to like start getting snippy and bitchy at each other? Are they going to become friends? Are they just going to crash into each other again in another semi-quote-unquote flirty accident?
Caitlin is joining in on what Mr. Blue said.
Alright, that's two more per there, and he will collect, if you would offer it, 2 silver coins. He shows you what they look like and asks you if you got them.
Sure do.
Well done. And you see him collect that. Right. This is around the time that you guys finish this little talk, and that's when you would all notice that the coin has just been exchanged. All of them look ridiculous, like in the hands of Mr. Green. And you see him jotting something down in a tiny notepad right before he essentially puts all of it in like a giant, Santa kind of sack over his shoulder, but it's his size. It's just the size of a normal coin purse.
Nice. Leah, I assume, probably, I guess, with her 19, didn't get pick up on the
conversation. But the collecting of, you got the collection of money, and the last bit of the conversation of like, and all bets. Or
Leah.
That's the end of all bets.
Leah, I think, after he says that, asks, and what exactly are you betting on?
Entertainment. And he just crawls back up with Mr. Blue's shoulder.
Right.
Oh, I thought we were betting on... I bet that you guys are going to become friends.
Well, certainly that's possible.
And I guess what are the rest of their reactions?
They are, and let me just double check. Oh god, these things. Mr. Blue just handed Mr. Green small dagger.
All right.
And he essentially took it. It looks like a short sword on him, but it's just a dagger.
Oh,
And he just says, "You take. And you're such a sucker for a pretty face." That was
smile.
Mr. Green to Mr. Blue.
Sucker for a pretty face. Was he referring that to one of us?
You're unsure. You just know that for some reason one of the daggers that was on his belt has now been handed over to his friend, partner, prisoner, just annoyance.
Annoyance. That's the one. Fun annoyance.
We don't know. This relationship has not yet been thoroughly defined.
Maybe he's the pretty face he was referring to. Maybe he's into that. I don't know. Does Min have any reaction to the whole bet?
I mean, if they're complimenting her, then she's just gonna titter and smile.
I don't.
A knowing smile.
I don't know if we know who they're referring to the pretty face.
But she's gonna assume it's about her.
Yeah, that's right. That tracks.
That tracks.
I am the most fabulous person who ever exist. Waha.
What's Mr. Red doing at this moment?
He's slowly gaining a lead on you guys.
Leah,
But I mean slowly though, because like I said, his horse is trotting, or not trotting, like the showmanship kind of moving forward. So he's got space, but you guys can just power walk for a few feet and then you're back up to him.
Leah, I think, is going to start power walk marching and just kind of comment as she's passing everybody, or if she's passing everybody. You all are spending too much time worrying about these frivolities. Let's just keep marching and we can discuss this on the road. If that's what you wish.
You do catch a small sniggering laugh, unless you're not sure who it came from, unless you want to turn around or make an educated guess.
I'll roll to make an educated guess if I can.
Sure.
Should I roll something in particular, or do I just assume?
For this one, just roll me a flat d20.
Flat d20? 14.
You've listened to enough people, you can probably tell who's doing the small maniacal laughter.
Fair enough.
It was obviously Min.
Obviously. Min. Mr. Green, I assume.
Oh yeah, you don't even have to check. Yeah. You could tell.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm marching ahead, trying to catch up with Mr. Red. What do you guys do?
I'll probably be walking close to Mr. Blue and Mr. Green. They seem the most interesting right now.
I want to watch how Kaylin gets along with them. You demand to know their stories? If so, I will be nosy and listen.
Okay, are you going to be ahead and like listen behind, or are you going to be behind them and listen and look forward? Sorry, I'm asking, what's the marching rate?
I guess I kind of pictured us all walking shoulder to shoulder in some ways.
I don't know.
You can, but right now a few people are moving faster than others. One of them is already on horseback.
What's the marching order for the NPCs?
Mr. Brown and Mr. And Mr. Green and Mr. Blue are actually the ones like heading the back of the pack or medium or middle of the pack, depending on if the two of you are going to stay behind the chat.
Okay, so I think you may have cut out there for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you cut out
everybody
for someone else.
else. I heard brown and I think black, and then you cut out. And then I
Mr.
heard
Red,
green.
then there's Mrs. White, then there's Mr. Brown and Black, and then at the very end, Mr. Green and Mr. Blue, followed by the last two, Miss Yellow and Miss Lavender, depending on if they're going to go on ahead or stay back.
Kaylin will be probably walking right next to Mr. Blue.
Okay, then you will be leading back of the pack.
And I don't know if you're gonna be in front of us or behind us.
Right beside you, like leaning over
Right
your
next to us. Okay, got it.
shoulder. That's my assumption. Maybe not. Is Heidi still there?
Huh? Yes?
Ah,
So where are you in this order, Heidi?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm behind Kaylin just enough to watch her, how she interacts with everybody else.
All right, then you'll be
So I
behind
guess
everybody.
behind, if she's talking to Mr. Blue, then I'll be behind her and Mr. Blue.
All right, then you'll be behind everyone else then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mean to presume for Min, but I do feel like it kind of makes sense for her to be taking up the caboose in the marching order.
Now,
A
that's
little
something
bit.
you guys can definitely try and sort out properly. But yeah, no, you make your way there, and as soon as you hit the outskirts of the last gate, you see before you it's a wide and expansive bit of mountainside. Very, very beautiful to the left as it goes down into the plains, and a local village you've heard by the running water. It is, in
Lovely.
fact, actually called the Singing Waters. Natively, it's called Wen Shangan Nawa, which is a hand of mouthful to The Singing Waters is the rough translation.
Am I familiar with this village?
You can go ahead and roll me a history check with advantage.
Am I familiar with this village? Because I may have passed through.
You can roll me a history check as well if you'd like.
I don't think I've ever been to this village. I rolled a 5 and a 4.
Am I familiar with this
so a
village?
total
No.
of 6.
No, yeah, you do.
Where's my history check? Ah, there it is. 5. So
You've not, unfortunately, been to this village because you don't have to really have to go near into it, but it is down this pathway, but you can avoid it if necessary, as most tend to do, unless there's a reason you're seeking them out.
all right.
But this information was more or less given to you by our guide, as he points in the direction that you are not going, as this is, in fact, to the left and or the west. You guys are going straight up north.
Okay. So are we passing through it, or are we just passing near it then?
No, he's essentially telling you like that's not the road we're taking, but if we did,
That's
very
where-
close to it is the village, some waterfalls, a nice bit of land, and caves and such. We are going straight up. We are going to the Vendra Rad, or as the locals translate, the Redwoods.
Redwoods. Also,
Yeah.
just to double
Says
check,
this-
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just to double check, you said our guide. Is Mr. Red acting as our guide?
Mr. Red is acting as our guide. He is sitting on top of this horse,
Huh?
and you now only notice he has a drink somehow in his hand, compass in the other, and is just spouting off random facts. As you are heading outside the village, you see that there is a small windmill to the right, as well as a few carriages that are being pulled over to the side, some to check their cargo or unload, as a small checkpoint of checking wares and whatnot before entering into the city. And yeah, now you see that they cleared out this bit of forest and whatnot to either expand or just have a clearing to see, possibly for defense or whatnot. And he just leads you forward and onward north.
How busy is the road through here? Down south.
The way he's showing you, not very. The two opposite ways he showed you that you are not going have a few more caravans than usual, but this one only has 2, while the other one's well into 6.
Interesting. All right. I think we're passing by through nature, and I think you will notice from time to time, Leah will actually pull out a book of some kind, and you're not certain if it's write something down or draw something out, but she's noting something down, and then kind of she'll put it back for a bit and kind of keep marching.
Kaylin's trying to make small talk with Mr. Blue. Definitely first question
Okay.
she asked is, so do you guys play those games often?
And he answers, "We play them every once in a while. I try not to make it too much of a habit for me, just because I'm not as good at it as he is." Pointing up to Mr. Green, who's currently just playing with a small deck of cards.
Oh. Then why doesn't he teach you how to be good at it?
Because it's not something you learn by teaching. It's something you gotta do in practice.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. And some people are naturally good at it. Those are the ones you gotta look out for.
Huh. I wonder if there's a way you could tell who's naturally good at it.
Let me put it like this. If you see someone who doesn't look like they know what they're doing, but at the end of the game they're the one with all the gold, silver winnings of favor, they probably knew.
Oh, so it's the ones that don't look like they're good are actually good at it. Huh. So have you two been together for a while? I guess he didn't like that question.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, there it is. Sorry. Answering, but no, I didn't hear anything. He answers, and Mr. Blue was about to answer until Mr. Green essentially just covered up his mouth and says, "We've been together for a couple moves, and let me tell you, he sucks, but he tries." And I hear people like that Personally, I'm more about results, but he's getting there. Let me ask you something. Are you from around here, or are you from off the boat?
From... I guess from here? Somewhere here. I've never been on a boat.
Never been on a boat. Missing
Never.
out.
Not even like a canoe or like a rowboat.
Yeah, no, you definitely see them taking that into consideration. And Mr. Blue does get like a little bit of a look of understanding, and Mr. Green just chuckles.
Is that a bad thing?
And Mr. Green was about to say something until he is very, without care, pushed off Mr. Blue's shoulder. No, it's nothing. It's just interesting to know where you're from is all. Don't let nobody tell you anything about that.
She smiles. Very brightly. And what about you? Are you from the boat?
Yeah, I'm from the boat. One of the more recent ones. Came here from the main continent.
Oh, I've heard a couple of stories about that place.
Yeah.
What is it like for you?
It's alright, it's livable. That just depends on who you ask, because I have a few friends who are Norts who think it'd be torture not to be out at sea, but I've also got a couple friends who also think not going to church would be a heinous crime. And then I've also got a few contacts who think if you're not doing a job to get your ass pampered, you're kind of wasting your time. So everybody's got their own take on it, I guess. Just depends on where you're from or what you like.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And what about you? What did you do?
And once again, Mr. Green chimes in and essentially just jumps back in. He made them deals you and I were talking about, or was it with Min? You were there. He made himself. He got into a little bit of a snafu and he needed a bailout, and lucky for us, he was able to bail him out.
Oh, that means you're such a good friend.
There's just another snicker from Mr. Green, and Mr. Blue just looks like he's trying to come up with a sentence to give you, but he just keeps throwing it away. You can almost see him writing this down before he tells you it, and just crumpling it up and throwing it away before he starts over.
So then, are you also from the main continent too, Mr. Green?
That is where I have done most of my business. That's not where I'm originally from. That place is far, but closer than you think if you know how to open that door.
From hell.
I don't think I quite understand.
It's fine. There are plenty of folks similar to me, like me, and their home is actually just and he makes an odd bit of, he essentially mimics a door opening. If you know how to open them doors, you can get just about anywhere.
Oh, so do you go from place to place often?
No, I stick with whoever I'm and he has like a larger toothy smile. Whoever I'm helping at the time is who I stay with until they're finished with my help. But right now, it's with this guy. And we'll see how much help it is.
Oh,
There's a clear eye roll from Mr. Blue, but he does not deny this.
well, I think it's nice to have someone that you can depend on. And you guys seem very close.
Inseparable, I'd say.
Good.
God, there's a part of me that wishes was still here to just because these sound like his comments.
He totally would say that.
I got to imagine he would instantly realize what's happening. Like you put it together, or he might have some experience with something like this. And like, oh wow, this girl is, ow.
Have a very different approach to the situation.
It's like, so this is what it's like to talk to a toddler.
I want
Leah-
to give me.
I don't know if she can be listening in, but she would probably think that. She is not at the point of her journey where she would say stuff like that. You would think
Start
that.
going over a mental list of don't let her near fires, sharp objects. Double check if she knows how to hold weapons, or not to approach people friendly if they're pointing at her.
I need to baby-proof the adventure for her. The character, not the player.
You know what? Okay, I need to establish a rule before she does anything. Just double check with one of us just before you do it. Just double check.
No.
Just do it.
I just imagine her somehow glitching or like clipping into the most unusual spots just to get a good look around or something, or just to say that she found something, and we're just wondering, how did she even get there?
Somehow gets the abilities of Kitty Pryde and like just phasing abilities and like sticks her head in places that it should not be able to be.
There's this fan fiction character that just reminded me of. It's from one of those Harry Potter ones. It's just a little girl, and for some reason, it's just they instantly succeed at everything because you're never focused on her until the very end. Be it a task, or they get lost, or they find something. At the very end, she always just tugs on Dumbledore's robe, or whoever's in charge, and she just hands over the answer, or the prize, or the treasure, and just says, "Hey, I found this." Like, oh, the page of the book we needed, or the cure, or the goal we were trying to get everyone else to get to.
How do you find one of Voldemort's Horcruxes?
It's like,
I found it later.
we're doing like a super scavenger hunt, but like as per usual, one of the teams who has almost everything loses the bag, and the adventure continues. And like they get to the end, and she's just at the finish line saying, "Hey, I found this bag," and she's obviously the first one to get there, and it's declared the winner.
That's cute.
Yeah. She's essentially the gremlin. She's essentially. No, yeah, she's a straight up gremlin because she was essentially kidnapped from her home as a punishment to annoy her sister because she wouldn't focus on studying the magic that this version of one of the characters is trying to teach everybody, and he devises punishments for them if they don't do enough, and one of them is, "I'm bringing your baby sister." She's technically like a year or two younger, but I'm filling her full of like sugar and caffeine to annoy the shit out of you for not studying.
Oh no.
Your problem now.
Great.
Yeah. And I've
Release
given
the
her both
house.
permission and ideas to prank and annoy you until you get this right. Oh, and I'm teaching her alongside you, so if she does it better than you, she's both younger and she's doing it faster. So there's that. And it's hilarious. It's great because they only focus on her like just at the ends and the beginnings and a few times in the middle. Barely enough, just so you know, this person is the unseen protagonist. All the plot armor you could ever imagine. she will accidentally fire the killing curse, or like the winning. She'll win against like Voldemort for whatever reason, and just she now has like the Elder Wand. It's like this is the only one that feels right now.
Playing Quidditch and
just skips away to do childlike things after defeating the Dark Lord.
God, that's great.
She grabs the snitch and then she puts it in her mouth. Unlike Harry unintentionally getting in his mouth.
Yeah, no. This was like, oh, it's great because I've weaponized the child.
Tastes like
and taught her
metal.
Yeah, no. I've taught her everything she needs to both get away with and commit various pranks and or possible future crimes. Who knows?
Now I will play a little bit of devil's advocate here and kind of rant very briefly about how you're kind of describing what this alternate future version of Sid did with Mel, and in there it did not go great. This sounds like it would go great. I mean, at least in theory.
Oh yeah, no one, as so far as I know, as I've read the story, no one is like setting this kind of thing up. It just happens. Like the child's favored by the gods kind of thing is implied, but no one ever looks into it and just leaves her to do her thing.
Do your thing. Anyway,
I ready to keep. Sorry for the derailment. Are we ready to keep going? You guys you've traveled and you're about to enter the Redwood.
I think
Who would like a survival check?
I'll roll survival. Natural 20 plus 6, 26.
Ooh.
I am survival as fuck.
Bear Grylls.
And you are. And with this, you are able to both identify a possible campsite up ahead, if this was somewhere. Well, this is not something you'd use now. This is definitely something you could keep in your head if you're ever passing through the Redwood again, as a more or less looking like a safe spot. But for now, you can definitely travel and pick out places, and if you so choose, you can advise Mr. Red, as he seems to be leading the way, but you're the one essentially pointing out safer or hazardous terrains, obstacles, and the heads up of there might be something over there. Sounds like there might be something aggressive in the term of wildlife, or possible less than agreeable company in the form of bandits. With this, you guys are at your discretion. You can divulge or select what information you give, but you essentially you can make it through this as quickly as you'd like.
I will certainly advise. Are we walking on a road through the woods, or are we just walking through the woods?
Half of it is paved, but half of it is like a camp or hiking trail. The other half is you going through like the brush. You can see people have gone through this way before, but not enough to make it like a nice walking trail.
Yeah, she will definitely advise. Is Red still on his horse, or does he have to get off at this point?
He is on his horse still, even though there are some points where he should have gotten off of it. He doesn't.
He stays the horse.
There's a halfway point where you're not sure if you saw him or not, glitching up the side of a hill with the horse. But he does in fact stay on it for the most part.
Roach, how did you get up there? You're not supposed to be up on that roof.
The great mysteries of life.
Yeah, she will advise, kind of give some warnings. I assume I don't know how long we've been traveling, but I assume it's not time to camp yet, so.
Now, we've still got a few more hours to go. You're just at the beginning of the Redwood. He essentially does let you know that we have to travel through it completely and get to the other side before, like I said, it's a full day and a half's travel. You're going through the Redwood, and he says once we're out of the Redwood, we need to go to Calavren or the Tall Trees. which is essentially just deeper into the actual wood before we get to door red, which you then translates to the Heartstones.
Okay. Yeah, she'll kind of comment, when we settle down for the night, you do owe us an explanation of what it is we are, what our goal here is.
Well, of course. How else am I supposed to ask you to do it?
I just wish to be clear, is all.
No, of course.
There are, of course, those...
You'll also have noticed every time he seems to be always fidgeting with something with your perception. You'll notice he's never free with his hands or idle with them. Essentially, he's always doing something.
Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, Leah's trying to direct us on the path of least resistance in the direction that we're going. Actually, curiosity. You said this is the redwood. Is this a redwood forest? Because redwood trees are a whole thing, and is it just like the trees are red, or are they like redwoods where they're huge?
And give me a quick perception check to see if you can find or identify anything of why this place was named thus.
Interesting. I assume that means there's not the giant trees, but unnatural 20.
With that, and with a bit of the knowledge and asking a bit around, you're able to tell this is called the Red Woods, as this was the site of an immense battle. Unsure who or how or why, as he points off a bit to just off your own, the path he asked you to take that you directed. You can see off to the right, there are ruins, massive ruins, and a huge open area with broken pieces of ground, trees at odd angles growing sideways, jagged cliffs seeming rather unnatural. This seemed to have been the place of a massive battle. Many lives were lost, and many of the surrounding forestry seemed to have taken on the hint of crimson, both in the trees themselves and in the greenery around it. It seems to hint that color instead of going for the normal autumn colors where the green is you've seen in the trees slowly beginning to fade away. These are in fact red in most of the imagination area that takes up a good third of this central forest.
Yeah. Leah will briefly, because I think she's not necessarily ahead, but like she's towards the front of the group, she will take a moment to pay her respects before catching up and getting back to the forging ahead that she was doing before.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that would explain why it's the redwood forest. Probably walking on top of a whole bunch of dead bodies.
Oh, probably.
Whole ton of people killed here.
Yep. And unless anyone wants to anything else, with that natural 20 and your guidance and Red's, natural onward go-get and persistence, you guys make record time. And you guys see there is a small clearing up ahead. And that is when Red lets you guys know that we're nearing the place we will be camping out for the night.
Okay.
Plan the trip ahead. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, but you planned out where we'd make it for the night.
Indeed, and he does show you guys to a large building. It almost looks like it's been abandoned, but it seems still relatively functional. It's a small kind of... It almost looks like a smaller version of the Coins Guard keep, but it's only about a third of one. This would need to be much larger. And I'm going to quickly, just in art, give you guys this is a rough idea of what you're looking at.
Oh, all right. Okay. So there's a little homestead. Or maybe not homestead.
It's something, though, but it definitely looks like it used some TLC. This thing looks like it's not been in official use.
Does it seem like, I guess we'll find out in a moment, but like from the outside, I guess, does it seem like there's any life in there, or does it seem kind of emptied out?
No presence that you can tell. No lights, no outward patrol, nothing so far, just an open gate and the building around.
All right. Is it getting to be evening now?
Yeah, the sun is beginning to set.
Okay.
And as you all enter, and he does gesture to say, there should be some spare rooms in here and a place where we can make comfortable accommodations for the night before we continue our trip in the morrow. If there is anyone who would like to, well, I'd say volunteer for shifts, as we will need constant. This place is, well, in the middle of nowhere. So we can establish that later. I and Mr. Purple will be out to gather tonight's dinner, and you could sort that out amongst yourselves. We will be back. Shouldn't be more than, let's say, an hour, and we can continue our... Well, with that, we can have both the meal, and I can give you the final bit of information for the job then. Like I said, you...
I heard you and then you cut out, so...
you don't need to do much. Just stay here, pick out your rooms, or make yourselves comfortable. We'll be back, hopefully, with...
Okay.
Dinner. Okay.
And
think
with
this-
that, on the horse and by foot, these two are going to essentially just start walking to the side and into the forest. The rest of you, what will you be doing? The other three are looking to make their way into the actual, the main tavern-looking area.
I was thinking, staying in my room and then listening in for any interesting conversation bits, maybe.
Alrighty. Anyone else? Following the group, splitting off to do their own thing, going to murder everyone else in their...
You weren't supposed to reveal my plan yet.
No, that was my plan.
Wait a minute.
Samesies.
Twinning.
Guys, come on. You guys are all going to do like these, like spacemen in outer space. Everybody's trying to kill everybody. You've poisoned her food, but she doesn't realize she's already been poisoned. She's going to kill you.
I'm following the group into the tavern area.
For real though, following in, exploring, and then I'm assuming there's enough rooms for everybody to get their own.
Alright, and you all enter in together, and as soon as you bust in that door, this is the sight of
We fighting?
Let's do this.
This is the sight that greets you.
Oh,
Ah, very cool people.
hi.
When we go inside, are we outside all of a sudden, or is this just like these people?
These are the people inside?
No, you notice that the back wall of this place, gone.
Gone? Oh.
Yeah, you can see these guys. They've set up like a makeshift on the outside of the broken wall.
Oh.
So you guys enter inside, and you've got the tavern and everything, but very clearly, like across the wall where the stairs and a small kitchen should be. Gone.
It's just
Completely crumpled. Gone. Crumpled down.
Oh.
Very open window, and there are people on the other side who seem to have made their own camp. These strangers, who all look at you, some drawing weapons, others looking in befuddlement, some not really bothering at all because they're in the middle of cooking something. And that is where we'll leave it off.
That's cliffhanger. I guess I'll still ask, just kind of to know, just so we can think about it. Can we tell who these people are? Like, are there any emblems or like any like imagery, symbol, like distinctive of one like action?
The two on the left, the first two, are wearing clothing you'd associate with the Merchant's Guild, which is the main thing. The one in the back center, full-on plate armor with the symbol of the sun, so obviously from the theocracy. The two on the side, more recognizes on Kayla because they are both dressed in native garb, except the one guy who seems to be wearing a hat of one of the sailors, but each their own. Man, very, very back, dressed in what seems to be the outfit more commonly found in the sorry, I'm blanking on the name. Hitman for the Merchant's Guild.
The what for the Merchant's Guild? You said?
The Hitman?
Oh, the Hitman.
No.
Hitman.
That's what I heard.
The Bridge Alliance. So you've got representatives, you've got both Islanders, Bridge Alliance, and for some reason you've also got the Congregation of Merchants on the other side.
Huh.
In truth, the only ones you're missing are the Morts and the Coinsguard. If you're looking for the major players of the island and continent, those are the only ones really missing. But you're just going off of what the immediate garb that essentially holds those emblems.
Fun.
Cool. Well, that'd be a cool place to pick up next.
Indeed, we do.
Cliffhanger.
I really appreciate you hosting, Siler.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping next time we'll be talking in person.
Yeah.
Well, I think, that's probably going to be the two of you. I hope that things go well this weekend.
Yes, that's
I guess
this weekend.
It is, if I'm not horribly mistaken.
Well, the
Yes.
5th, 6th, and did you say the 7th as well?
The 5th, 6th, and 7th I'll be leaving. So I'm essentially getting there roughly mid-morning. On Saturday, Sunday I'm there for the day, and then Monday I'll be leaving roughly middle of the day.
Yeah. I guess it's probably worth just saying now that if that's going to be the case, I think it may be best to hold off on Waterdeep on Monday, because I don't think you're going to want to do that right after all that travel, if you're even back by then.
We'll see how it happens, depending on how the flight or how delays and or things happen, as I'm sadly familiar with.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go. But,
Nice little horror story of like a normal. I think it was supposed to be a 2-hour flight. Got delayed like by almost a day because they went through 2 planes who, like, when they did the system, like the safety checks, these things aren't turning on or not working right. So one plane to the other plane to the last plane, and then it took off.
Yeah.
And even then, apparently, it was a video.
All right. Well, this is.
This was fun. Thanks, guys, for.
Yeah. This was fun.
We move forward.
We progress.
Progress.
Woo!
Now, here's the weird part.